Hello everyone, and welcome to the Halloween edition of AMC Coming Soon. If you're thinking of skipping trick-or-treating this year in favor of some quality time at your local AMC, then why not kick off your weekend with a nocturnal thriller starring Jake Gyllenhaal? You could follow that up with a horror classic that's revisiting theaters, a surreal satire starring Michael Keaton, a brain-busting Nicole Kidman mystery, a dark fantasy starring Harry Potter with horns, I mean really, what could be better than that, and a documentary spanning the incredible farewell tour of a musical legend. Let's get things going with a little night crawling, shall we? Not to be confused with the legendary X-Men character, Nightcrawler is actually about Lou Bloom, a guy who's much too enthusiastic about his new job. When Bloom happens upon a bare-bones crew filming a gnarly car wreck on the freeway, he becomes determined to break into the late-night news racket. Thrilled and inspired by the raw power of people in peril and the ratings they bring, Lou relies on his tenacity, drive, and relentless pursuit of a good story to rise in the ranks of the biz. Also, it's kind of nuts. Anyway, Jake Gyllenhaal gives the performance of a lifetime in this dark role, which has been compared to Christian Bale's Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, and even Robert De Niro's Rupert Pupkin in The King of Comedy. Rene Russo is fantastic as well as the ambitious yet slightly washed-up news producer intent on making her mark at all costs. If you're a fan of tense thrillers like Drive, Prisoners, or Zodiac, then you must see Nightcrawler. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Be sure to leave the young ones at home. This one's rated R. 10 years ago, a charming little movie named Saw came out and scared the pants off of audiences all over the world. Now it's time to celebrate creepy masked serial killers and indie horror films as Saw hits theaters once again for a limited one-week run. For those of you who haven't seen the film, the premise is actually pretty simple. Two dudes in chains in a rundown old basement are given specific instructions on how to escape, and you know something? I can't even talk about this movie. It's too creepy. Let's just say that the film marked the beginning of a new era in franchisable horror films and became a cult classic, winning all kinds of awards and placements on top 10 lists. If you liked all the other Saw movies or bloody horror films like Hostel or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then don't miss this chance to revisit one of the most iconic horror films of the 21st century. Oh, and by the way, this film is rated R. So bringing the kids? Not so much. Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, is now expanding across the country, making it next to impossible for you to miss it. And really, you should not miss this one. The pitch-black comedy stars Michael Keaton as Regan Thompson, a washed-up former action movie superstar who's trying to make a comeback by mounting and starring in a Broadway play. This completely nutty and totally brilliant R-rated film boasts a legendary cast that includes Naomi Watts, Emma Stone, Ed Norton, and Zach Galifianakis, to name just a few. In what can only be described as surrealist satire, Birdman sends up Hollywood, fame, and what it means to matter to the world. This is the perfect film for those of you who love cinematic stories with a whimsical twist, like Adaptation, Synecdoche, New York, or Being John Malkovich. Feeling in the mood for a stylish psychological thriller? Then Before I Go to Sleep is the perfect choice for you. Nicole Kidman is Christine, a woman who wakes up every morning with no memory of her life before due to a tragic and mysterious accident. That is until some pretty dark and disturbing details about her past start coming up. These revelations make her doubt every facet of her life, including her relationship with her husband and doctor. Ooh. Based on the best-selling novel of the same name, Before I Go to Sleep stars Colin Firth and Mark Strong alongside Kidman, and seems like the perfect film for those of you who love a good noir thriller in the vein of Memento, The Butterfly Effect, or Side Effects. Based on the best-selling novel by Joe Hill, Horns stars Daniel Radcliffe as Ig, a guy falsely accused of killing his lady love, played by Juno Temple. He wakes up one morning after a night of drinking to discover two unseemly little protrusions coming out of his head. You know, like horns. As his horns grow, so too does his power to compel perfect strangers to unload their deepest and darkest secrets and, he hopes, help him find the real killer. If you like dark comedy and vaguely religious satire, then Horns is the right fit for your Halloween weekend, especially if you enjoy films like Dogma, This Is the End, or The Brass Teapot. With over 15 million records sold and 8 Grammys under his belt, rhinestone cowboy Glen Campbell is the stuff of music legend. Revered and admired by fans and peers, Campbell has enjoyed an illustrious career spanning decades and will go down in history as one of the most iconic and celebrated musicians of all time. Glen Campbell, I'll Be Me is a touching and heartfelt personal journey of the musician's farewell tour upon learning he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. The film features interviews with other musical legends like The Edge and some guy named Bruce Springsteen, and follows Glen over 425 days and 151 sold-out shows. The film is expanding this week, so music lovers and fans of docs like Searching for Sugar Man, 20 Feet from Stardom, and Life Itself, run, don't walk to catch this truly moving and inspirational film. So now that you know what's in store for your movie-going this week, be sure to head on over to amctheaters.com for all your theater, showtime, and movie ticket info. And if you like, you can hit me up on Twitter at Miri the Jedi and let me know what you're planning on seeing. This is Miri Jedikin. See you next time.